No. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Comedians Connected. I'm Julio Sanchez, and we're back with episode 103. Just keeping going with season 3. My bad. Jesus, I have no idea why I stumbled that bad. Um, it's been a great week slash last week. We finished off season 2, had Cully Bear helping us finish that off. Then we had Monday. The Mid City Kid came in, helped us do episode 101 to kick off season 3. I was about to say 2. I'm sorry. And then we had my friend Mikey Shut Up, and we kept going with episode 1 and 2. So it's been a great last few episodes, and we had some great artists, all of them really, really well musically talented. I think they can even prove themselves if you saw the videos. I was blown away with each one of them just watching them. I know I've been saying that ever since Cullen came in, but that's because it still shocks me to see that I'm around such talented people, and it hasn't been always this way. Not to like rip on my old friends, the ones that are gone now. They weren't saying they are not talented, but when we used to hang out as kids, we were just focusing on throwing a football, having fun. And now that life's a lot different, lately a few friends and I have been talking about like, oh, I remember we used to do this. I was like, we're making this happen again. And we were just talking about simple things where we get a group of friends, play like a big game of football, and that's one thing I'm gonna make sure it's gonna be a goal for this year. And I think that's gonna be important that we all do throughout the year, make goals, but goals that help you grow in different ways, ways you have always been saying you wanted to. So one thing I've constantly been working on is making sure just let go of past grudges. If whatever happened between you and a person, if it wasn't that big of a deal, really like sit down and think about it. Should it really have affected that bad? If not, we can all grow up, but really comes down to that. Just make sure you guys can communicate. And I've been having conversations with people I haven't spoken to in a few years, and it was wonderful conversations. Not that obviously I'll be hanging out with them to the extent I used to be, but I still wouldn't mind seeing them here and there, whatever events, talking to them, catching up. It's always great seeing how people are doing. So the last few weeks, months has really been showing me just how little steps can make a difference, and I've heard that before, and before I was like, yeah, whatever. But to actually be making those steps and seeing it happen in front of me has been great. Especially like this has been really what's shown me what I'm capable of, what I can really do. And it's not really to woo, I'm wonderful, but to me, it helps me with my, how you feel about yourself. I'll think of the word here in a second. My bad. But it's not that I'm trying to be cocky or anything, but I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do, what I need to improve in. And so when I meet people, I always have something I can give them. Wow, I just realized I forgot to turn on one set of lights. So it's a little darker than usual. My bad. But that's really what's come down to why I decided to name this episode Seek and Focus. I think in the last few weeks, my cat's over there rolling around trying to be adorable, so I feed her. But I've been really honing down to know what I can learn, what I can do, what I'm capable of. And with what I've been going through in my life, I'm challenging myself. So as I was thinking, I was like, a lot of us can do this. And it was really me having one, change of mindset, two, seeing who I'm spending time around. Are these people beneficial? Are some not? Again, not to knock down other people, but we all know what is beneficial for us. So if we want to make sure we're shooting big goals, I would recommend sitting around people who are also shooting for big goals, because you're going to be around that environment and energy, and it's going to keep you moving forward. It's almost like trying to win a race, but still going at the pace of your friend, because you have a blast with your friend. Again, it's okay to be a little ahead, sometimes do things faster, and maybe their whole goal is not to be number one in this race. That's okay too. And I think that's really where we got to be and think. So what I started realizing is trying to figure out like what your value is. I feel like a lot of us don't think we have a lot to offer when it comes to meeting people. We just think that's like, oh, well, I'm not worth their time type thing. And even if it's not that harsh of a thought, we're all sometimes scared of pitching our 2 cents or something. So I was thinking like, what can we do? And, I was thinking like, just knowing your value, knowing what kind of advice you can give. Like, are you, again, not to woo, we're all wonderful in a sense, but are you good at sometimes giving advice? Are you a listener, a good talker? Know like the value of your time, again, it comes back to know what you can do, what you're capable of, what you can accomplish. So your time becomes valuable now. So when people notice that you're taking your time seriously, they'll take it seriously as well. They'll see that there's a reason you're doing things. You're making sure that you're trying to be a little more organized. And me, myself, that's something I want to make sure I do as a sense is working on getting more organized. So sometimes I can get like a little more snapping because I'm trying to go based off someone's schedule. And again, it's wrong of myself because this is things I'm doing for myself. But if you like repeat it to people and stuff, then yeah, maybe again, those are maybe relationships you shouldn't be along with. Know your achievements. Again, it's going to be kind of repetition, but know what you are capable of doing. When you know what you have achieved, you got to think it back all the way to when you first started seeing that goal. You've been through the mindset of first thinking you want to do said thing, and then you got it done. Think of all the way back when you were a kid. Walking is an achievement. Running is an achievement. For sport you played is an achievement. If you won any medals, they are achievements. Anything you have done and accomplished that you hadn't done before, and when you test yourself, you're recognized, give yourself a pat on the back because those are achievements. Those are things that we should be not throwing away thinking like, okay, the reason I said throw away is because I throw away a lot of memorabilia. I don't keep a lot of like medals. I actually threw all those away. Maybe kind of why for a little bit I wasn't so confident. That was the word I was trying to think of in the beginning of the episode. Confidence. But I threw all that stuff away. And now I kind of find myself keeping more things, but because I see them as bigger things I've accomplished. So they kind of mean more to me. So those achievements, knowing what you are, and as we are going, those achievements, same thing, knowing your losses. Because from your losses, you've learned a lot of lessons. We've covered many times on this channel what to me I think a loss is. I like to think of them as lessons. Because we are capable of learning every single time we stumble ourselves. It was just like when you rode your bikes, you started riding rollerblades. When you lost your balance, you kind of learn like, oh, my body's going that way. I got to go this way. For me, it was learning to skateboard. I learned just don't step on it. That was my lesson. I didn't lose. I just learned I'm not meant to be on a skateboard. Or I didn't have a teacher, really. I tried to teach myself, and it was just an awful idea. But again, I know my losses. Something like that I'm not good at. Give me some rollerblades. I'm better at it. I can keep my balance. I feel more comfortable. Ice skating, still decent. But then I know my losses in ice skating. I can't do the cool stuff that other people can, and I'll bust, I'll fall down. Definitely going to hurt myself if I try showing off too much. But there's a few things I know what I can do in ice skate. So again, I know my achievements. I know my losses. So you got to know what you are capable of doing. And with those, it comes down to your abilities, overall abilities I could think of. Are you like a fast learner? Do you pay attention to like fine detail? A lot of things we do. Are you a good problem solver? Are you a good teacher? Are you more like a leader? Are you good with working with groups? All of these things that we can think of to boost our confidence, we should be doing almost on a daily basis and be doing activities that show that we are, That's why I think I like being involved in when I start a job. I like learning the job. And then when I see someone new, I don't mind teaching them. I personally think I'm a decent teacher just because of things I've been around. And that's something like my sister and I grew up doing, is just kind of helping people and teaching, kind of being tutors. So we grew a knack of how to communicate with kids. She now currently works with kids. Makes sense to me. She's been a teacher all my life. She grew up teaching me all my life. So now that she went back to it, it makes sense for her to do, because I think she did such a well job. Things I think, and kind of like how I act, I got a lot of those things from her, from my mom. So knowing where I came from comes down to knowing you. So I think once you have like what yourself, you're not going to 100% know yourself. It's like meeting your best friend. We take a lot of time, effort, years to know this person we have recently met, make them our best friends. You got to do the same thing with yourself. It is a different way to meet yourself than meeting a friend, because again, you want to comfort yourself a lot of times, and it comes down to how honest are you with yourself. And that's why here and there I actually don't mind bringing up the things I love, because I'm being honest with myself, because I want to fix those things. I keep it live because I want to be honest with myself. How good am I being at like public speaking? I don't want to change up the theme of the channel. I don't want to give you guys something scripted. So I'm constantly testing myself, and I can actually see the progress I've done. Although it's been very minimal, I still think I've done progress, and it's just wonderful to see like what you can do. So once you start knowing yourself, I think I said know your value, then start focusing on that seek and focus. I was trying to think of how to put that together, and also I said seek and focus. I'm like, man, it sounds like Call of Duty, seek and destroy. Totally negative. But we're going to call it seek and focus. Reason being is you know yourself, you know what you want to do, so you're going to start seeking those things. Once you find them, you're going to focus. So for example, when you're seeking, you're going to start figuring out what you want to do. So you want to seek out opportunities. You want to seek out new goals. You want to seek out new ways to test yourself. That's kind of what I started doing. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. This is personally what I did. And I think it helped. So the only thing I can do is just kind of speak on what I've done. So I started doing like, what do I want to do? What's my overall thing I want to achieve? And when it came down, when Dayan and I started this show, we said we want to help people. We want to give them that spotlight. And the initial thought was from Gonzalo. I wanted to help my absolute best friend from first grade get him known. You know, I believed in him as a jiu-jitsu person, as an athlete. I can't believe I just said jiu-jitsu person. As a jiu-jitsu athlete and as an MMA fighter, you know, I had such belief in him. I loved going to see him fight, and we still do to this day. And so I wanted to do something that could give value and make sure that our friendship was friendship, but to let him know I want to help him push his dreams. You know, I really, really do believe him. And every single time we would talk, the way he would talk about me, he believed in me. And I was sitting around like, how can you say all these great things about me? And in my point of view, I saw it wasn't really worth that much. Yes, I wasn't doing wrong. I would try to help people when I could. You know, I love being a teacher. So anytime I was somewhere I knew, especially high school wrestling, I was always willing to learn and like teach. So he was always talking like big game about positive things I could do. And so now flipped out time around, we're getting close to the high school, and he's already kind of looking towards a career. I'm stuck in, I don't exactly know what I want to do, what kind of job I want to do. And to see him doing that inspired me. It went to go like, Julio, you know, you guys are best friends. You guys have always challenged each other. Challenge yourself a little more, because that's going to also influence him to do the same thing. And you guys can always keep challenging each other, but it's not a competition. It's a way you can always help each other to grow. And the way we always talked, we had honest conversations. To this day, we are still very, very honest with things we talk about. I brought up the example many times that I said I kind of told him how I think he should be coaching, or maybe thinks he was doing wrong in my eyes. And he luckily agreed. You know, he didn't take it to heart. He didn't say, you know, throw me the bird, although we've done to each other jokingly. I don't know if you've ever done it in anger, but jokingly, we definitely do it a lot. But, you know, he didn't even do it jokingly right away. He's kept his like serious tone. Not serious, but I knew he was listening and processing. And he's like, you know what? I'm listening. I'm understanding why you brought it up. And I think you're kind of onto something. And so then we talked it out. And once we were done, I was like, man, my heart was kind of racing trying to bring it up, because again, I don't want to tell you how to do things, because you've been doing it. You've been being a coach. How should I tell you how to do something when I'm not a coach? All I had at the time was background in wrestling. And after he told me, he was like, yeah, you're a good teacher in wrestling. Things you taught me have helped me. And he ended up even learning farther on. And he always kept pushing me to do things more and do things more. So I was like, you know, fine. I did, to kind of prove myself, but also make sure that we bring value to each other. You know, that's what I overall wanted to do. So I'd said, you want to seek opportunities, you want to seek goals, you want to seek the right people. I've seen posts of people who are trying to do something. Their friends get on their case about, you know, you're trying too hard, blah, blah, blah. Who are you trying to impress? Whatever the case it is, you know, don't take it to heart. We're all different. We're all going to be striving to do different goals, different mindsets. Some of us want bigger things. Some of us want less things. We're not wrong to be different. What we are wrong in is just telling people on how they should live because of our expectations. You know, I've really been thinking a lot more on the word like expectations after I talked to Shelton. And that's another great thing of this channel. Another great thing of why I'm so happy I've started to challenge myself in other ways is I've had more conversations and with people I definitely would not have dreamed of having if I didn't have this channel, if I didn't have a platform that I started giving out my thoughts, and that's when people started realizing like there's more to really just me, and here and there I goof around. You look on my Facebook page, I share more memes, barely ever serious on my Facebook page. And then I do something like this and I'm sharing thoughts and it's like, I think they don't really match up. Maybe they do, but it's not that I'm being fake or any sense. It's just, I just share, I guess, what's on my mind differently through different platforms because I want to make sure if I say something, I'd rather like speak it because I know I'll get my message out better that way. If I write something, I'm an awful writer. So I'm never going to get my message out the right way writing. So once I started challenging myself, I started finding the right people, the right goals to my standards, the right goals, the right opportunities to my standards of what I wanted to be doing. Then I went to focus. You have seeked, now you have your target. This is why I was thinking of like almost Call of Duty, seek and destroy. You seek your target, you've got your target. Now what are you going to do? You're just going to focus. Just what I was really going to before call this was bet on you, bet on yourself. I couldn't really think of the title. But overall, I really wanted to tell, whoever gets this message is start making every single bet you can on you. That's something I've started doing, taking more serious. Again, it came down to when I started seeing like what value do I bring? Like what can I bring to the table any single time I talk to somebody? I want to make sure that if they're striving to do something, I can help in any sense. I'm not trying to be like everyone's answer. I'm not the answer. Absolutely not in any sense. But if I can help you get to some sort of answer, I'm willing to take the time. Why? Because more than likely, every step we do together here is going to benefit me from then on. And if I'm ever stuck, I'm more than willing to take anyone's help. Because again, any help I can get is probably going to also help them. If they're great teachers, I'm going to learn real quick. If they're not great teachers, they're probably going to learn to be a great teacher. It all comes down to what are we trying to do? So you want to focus and just bet all your coins on you, because once you start doing that, more things happen. So again, I took Gonzalo as a great example. I took my mom as a great example. Always seeing those two, like to me, they were just hard grinders, my grandma. And that was my first ones until I started meeting more people. So, I could add to the pile, but originally from my close group, it was really like my mom, my grandma, Gonzalo. Gonzalo, because he was my age, he was my best friend, and to see him achieve, awesome. So from seeing Gonzalo and seeing my mom, they started to influence themselves, they started to educate themselves. They did things that were for them. And the more you stand back and you watch them, it's like, that's a good change. Okay, that's awesome he's getting there. And then I keep seeing Gonzalo and my mom start owning her store. She went from like working for fast food restaurants, nothing wrong with that, to eventually owning her store. She started seeing what she has to value. She was always excellent. And like everyone else started from, you're just a cook, whatever, boom, manager. And all of a sudden she's like kind of helping run the store. And she noticed she had a knack for doing things. I feel like in our family, we naturally almost have a knack for business. Again, I'm talking about business. And I really have zero clue in business. So I'm not going anywhere near that stream. But we almost have a knack for like networking. We like to talk to people. We can like create a great relationship almost just because we like talking to people. And once we get a good vibe, it just keeps going. Between my mom and I, my sister, obviously, too. Like, you almost can't get us to shut up. There's certain times it will be absolutely quiet. But if there's just good conversation, especially my mom, like, she'll just keep going. It's hilarious. So her going to her own store made sense. People are going to be coming in. She's going to be constantly talking to people, and she's good with people. So she started doing things that were positive for herself. She started to influence herself, made changes that were going to overall benefit her. Wow. Jeez. So once you do those steps that are going to benefit you, good things are going to happen to you. You're not being greedy, but people are going to start watching that. So what are they going to start doing? They're going to start finding ways to influence themselves. They're going to be taking the same ways because they right away have something that is influencing them. And if they can see that, more than likely they're going to want to do it. Along with influence yourself, find ways to keep motivating yourself. Reason I kind of kept them separate is motivates more. So influence, I think, is just getting the right mindset. Find things that make you think positive. Just Plus, to motivate yourself, now you want to get those positive thoughts into actions. So obviously those people that influence you, especially the closest ones, like the closest influences you can get, the more you're going to get grinding, the more you're going to get moving. So make sure you keep yourselves. That came down to the people. So you're going to be around those people. Find even more people. Find other things that are going to challenge you to say, if this is my goal, I bet you I can make it better. If I was okay taking this detour to gain now this and then come back to my goal. Now my goal is going to be like an overall better. So find things that are going to make you constantly stay moving. Again, not to kiss my own butt, for some odd reason today, I decided today was going to be the day I would wake up an extra 20 minutes earlier. I got down, started working on the page. I've been luckily enough, been super lucky to be working with my coach, Daniel. We've been both cracking down at American Pro Style Wrestling. So if you haven't liked the page, go ahead and like that page. We've been talking about that tournament. I'm super excited. So again, seeing him do things engaged me to do more. So I've been just so happy he actually asked me, like, yeah, I'd love to get your help. And he and I have been learning, working together, working with his wife. And it's just been awesome to see that, again, if I didn't have this before, now I wouldn't have been doing that. I would never had like the thought or the dream to know I can be a part of something big, and to know that even though what I feel is I'm doing is small, they see it as something bigger. So to see them grind for something super, super big, no matter how small I see what I'm doing, you'll notice that everyone else is seeing it as something even bigger than what you'll ever think you're capable of doing. And it feels awesome. Not to kiss my own butt, but I want you guys to, like, same thing, just find ways to motivate yourself, because again, that awesome feeling you get when people realize you're doing well for you, they're going to start doing the same things. And if you know you can always help, you don't want to be the answer. But again, if you have time, it comes back to knowing your value. If you have time, you know when you can help. So just being good with communication with people, letting them know certain times, like what I normally do is once I build a relationship, I'm like, hey, if you ever need a hand, shoot me a message. If you know in advance, if it happens to be at the time, depending on what's going on, there's probably a good chance I might be able to help you or I might not be able to. And the friends I've gotten, the times I've said no, they didn't make me feel guilty. They didn't make me feel like I owe them this, you know. They're like, oh, I understand you got something going on. I just thought I'd reach out because you gave out that offer. And you'll almost get the same thing in return. And even if you don't initially say it, people can get that vibe from you, and they'll offer the same thing. They'll be like, hey, if you ever need a hand, feel free to shoot me a call. And if you shoot them a call, you can't take to heart if they say no, because they, again, have said they probably realize some sort of what their time is valued at, so they know kind of what they have spare. So we just need to know ourselves, and then in return respect everyone else's. I think that should be a whole different topic. But so yeah, just motivate yourself and then start lifting yourself. You know, it goes back to the whole action, making sure you stay up. You're not always going to be a ball of joy. You're not always going to be the happiest. But if you can find the reasons to make sure you keep doing those positive actions, you're not going to fall in the rut. You're going to make sure you keep striving to those things. And yeah, you may get tired. Yeah, you'll find an excuse for something. It's okay to have a few days off or take a day off, really. But then get back in your grind. Know that you are that tired for a good reason. You're doing those things for you for a good reason. But that's kind of what's been on my mind, especially with the last few days. I got a chance to work with an awesome group of guys. They came by, Jonathan, Andrew. We had Mikey, we had Cullen. Just awesome guys to talk to, awesome guys to work with. And seeing the difference. And, you know, I've had the opportunity to have this friendship, especially with Andrew and Jonathan. Never took the opportunity to. But now that we are all trying to work on huge goals, we're like, hey, you know, because we were working on this, we can definitely benefit from spending time with each other. And luckily that happened. And I've been just super glad to be working again with Andrew, having the opportunity to know that someone else understands of why I'm on the laptop. Same thing goes to my wife, you know, her being so understanding. And that's why when she's doing things for herself, I'm always like, hey, do what you want to do for you. I'll make sure I'll follow along. We just have a great agreement that we're always going to be pushing each other, And that's why I'm not afraid to meet more people. I know I have already a best friend. I have someone who's got my back, someone who's going to catch me when I'm wrong, isn't afraid to call me out. But in return, I'm always going to have that best friend. And as we gain more friendships, we just have an awesome group of friends that we are around. So it's just the last few months, like the past whole year, ever since things have been we changed our mindset. We've seen what positive things it can do. So that's why I've always wanted to keep this going, is showing that although, I might flub it up, something may go wrong, whatever, we can always keep improving. And that's, to me, the best thing is, as long as we're aware that we can keep improving, we will keep improving. I thought about kind of hitting the desk, but I don't want to give you But anyways, it's been a great week for me. Hopefully it's been a great week for you guys. It is Thursday. Keep losing days. So we'll be back again Monday for episode 104. Hopefully you guys been having a blast watching these last few episodes. If you didn't catch them, make sure you go back, catch episode 100 all the way to 102. They've been a blast. Even the guests before that were super fun in the previous seasons. But I just can't wait to see what more we'll be able to do with this channel. It's super exciting. And we'll see you guys Monday.